Hello, users. Welcome to another episode of Above It All. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the Joe Biden rape allegations. So, Kirsten Gillibrand, which has been doing kind of like a little mini tour with Joe Biden and doing this whole thing, came out, well, she didn't make a grandiose statement, but she was in a conference call and it was reported that she says, "I stand by Vice President Biden. He's devoted his life to supporting women and he has vehemently denied this allegation." And this is news because Joe Biden has not vehemently denied this allegation. He's pretended it hasn't existed. Now, maybe I missed something. If I did miss something, feel free to let me know and I'll revise this and make an update. But I have not seen Joe Biden talk about this at all in any public manner. But maybe he's done it in private. He totally possibly has, and that's probably what Gillibrand is referring to. But if that's the case, why not make it in public? What's the deal? So I think it's super interesting that, again, if you see the tweet that I'm posted on, Kirsten Gillibrand, during the Kavanaugh situation, when everyone was like, "Ooh, Kavanaugh," I remember during the Kavanaugh situation, I went back and watched the full Anita Hill testimony and hearing, and I saw Joe Biden up there, and I saw him being a terrible motherfucker. And then, at that point, I knew, he's probably going to run for president. This is going to be very interesting going forward. But Kirsten Gillibrand said, in 1991, of course, again, this is in 2018 during the Kavanaugh situation, in 1991, Anita Hill stepped forward to tell disturbing stories of sexual harassment by Justice Clarence Thomas. I don't even know why, she said justice there. Don't give them the title. That's when people say, President Donald Trump. Just call him Trump. He's not a president. He's a fucking moron LARPing on the fucking TV. Don't give them the fucking title for it. But harassment by Justice Clarence Thomas. The Senate failed her. They failed to take her testimony seriously. They failed to give her the respect she deserved. Now, of course, Joe Biden was the chair of the Judiciary Committee, and he was the one in charge of Anita Hill, and the Anita Hill hearing, rather. He completely yelled at her several times and degraded her, and he was also one of the final voices that said, no, even though Anita Hill is backed up and corroborated by other women who had the same individual experience with Clarence Thomas, we're only going to hear Anita Hill. During the Kavanaugh situation, where there were several other people that came out against Kavanaugh, but they only heard Blasey Ford. And this is the same situation with the Tara Reade thing, where it's there are a dozen or so people that have come out and said Joe Biden did this. And he's on tape smelling 8-year-olds' hair. You know what I mean? So it's but Tara Reade is the one, and she hasn't gotten any sort of hearings yet or whatever, but she is the one that people pin everything on. But again, if it were just Tara Reade, and if people want to do that whole oh, she said Putin was not that bad in a blog post 3 years ago, therefore she's a Russian asset, the fact that those are real people to me, I feel like I'm living in a simulation. That can't be real. There is no way that a thinking, breathing, sentient creature could say, oh, this person wrote a blog post 3 years ago about how Putin isn't a terrible person, therefore her entire life was she's a sleeper cell or something. It's bizarre. It's super bizarre. But I remember back when I was young, this is just a little bit tangent, I remember back during when 9/11 happened, and I was 5 or so, and my mom was worried about Muslim sleeper cells activating and killing us, she was very stupid, of course, but I mean that's the same kind of line, this is what makes me think oh yeah, no, these really are people, except instead of Muslim sleeper cells, now they're Russian sleeper cells. It's super strange, very bizarre stuff, but so it's but that's not even the only allegation here, so that's the thing, is they always find a way to pin this all on one person and then completely tear down that person. Same thing happened with Monica Lewinsky as well. It's what is, and of course these are all situations, besides the Kavanaugh situation, that are with Democrats, right? That's the thing, is the whole 2018 Kavanaugh situation made it seem like Democrats were the party of the Me Too thing, and now that this whole Tara Reade thing is kind of boiled to the surface, it's very obvious that no, the Republican Party is the party of rape, and conversely, the Democrat Party is also the party of rape. They're the same party, the party of institutional, industrial rape, and that's just factual. You can feel free to leave your little comments about how oh, Russian asset, oh, it doesn't matter, Trump is worse, and yeah, Trump is worse. Trump has raped more men, more women, and probably more men for that matter. But it's bizarre to me that we had the opportunity to have Bernie Sanders in there. No, there's this nice little art drawing that was like Joe Biden like trying to like push his closet closed with like skeletons like, you know, coming out, and then you had Bernie Sanders like with his closet open and it was just like clothes on the hangers and he had a smile on his face. And that's the situation. We could have had Bernie versus Trump. We could have had a referendum not only on Trump but on neoliberal capitalism, which Trump is the exemplar of, but we didn't. We didn't. Now we have rapist A versus rapist B, and it's one of those situations where rapist, racist, it's the same fucking shit with these people. They're both garbage. And you know, I don't blame people for saying they want to vote Green Party or Libertarian Party or whatever. I don't blame them. You know, like personally, I live in North Carolina. I'll probably just vote for the Dem nominee, whoever it is, because that my situation is voting for me isn't a moral character choice. And this is my main criticism of like the Yang Gang and people that like were all about Tulsi Gabbard and Elizabeth Warren and shit. It's like they made a singular person they're like they tied their moral identity and their character online to voting in an election, which is like, sure, I'm a huge Bernie fan, but the difference between Bernie fans and all the fans of all the other people is Bernie fans, as soon as Bernie dropped out of the race, we were mad at him, and I'm disappointed that he dropped out of the race, you know, like, and we're not following like a cult, and voting for Bernie isn't like, you know, I'm not going to vote for Bernie in the general election because he's not on the ballot. Like, and I know it sucks, but voting for Bernie when he's not on the ballot is like, what are you doing? Like, you're just wasting your vote, in my opinion. That's my opinion. But either way, the whole Joe Biden situation, this is the thing, is like, they might be just trying to swap him at the convention, and that's why they're just trying to sweep this under the rug. But it's April right now, so it's like, we have to deal with this for like at least another 2 months, maybe 3 months, before they announce this potential plan. So it's like, why don't they just announce it now? Why don't they just have Andrew Cuomo step into the race formally, and just, you know, just take them all, like, at least take the delegates, right? You know, like, at least do that. At least make it look like it's somewhat democratic rather. But they're not, so it's just really bizarre. And of course, there is a legal case that said any party, Republican or Democrat, can just choose their fucking nominee in a smoke-filled back room, and primaries literally don't matter. I'm sorry, y'all. They don't matter. They just don't matter. And, yeah, this is shit. But Kirsten Gillibrand, totally switching on her, like, Me Too bona fides. And that's the thing. It's like, again, you don't have to support Joe Biden to vote for him. Like, and that's the thing with, like, a lot of these people is they're you don't have to endorse them. You know, and this goes to Bernie too. Like, you don't have to endorse him to say that voting for Biden is better than voting for Trump. You don't have to. I don't like Joe Biden. I don't support him in any fashion. I don't endorse him in any fashion. However, I don't want Donald Trump to strip away my rights any more than he already has. So therefore, I will vote whoever has the best likelihood of beating Donald Trump. I will vote for them in North Carolina. And that's just my prerogative. But, you know, if it's Andrew Cuomo, I mean, if it's Andrew Cuomo, it's Andrew Cuomo. You know, like, I don't give a shit. I just want Trump out, and that's my main thing. But here's the thing: it's like a lot of people with that opinion voted for Biden in the primary, thinking he was the strongest opponent against Trump, because the media literally lied to them. And like, you know, not everyone has the fucking media literacy or like, you know, tech literacy to use the internet and be able to sift through the garbage and whatnot. So they just were told Biden has the best ability to beat Trump, and now they're told Biden's a rapist. So it's like, what? Like, I wonder how many people out there wish they could switch their vote to Bernie Sanders right now. That's what I thought in 2016, but it's even more like, we live in a hell world. I'm sorry, we just live in a hell world. And, yeah, but Kirsten Gillibrand came out saying that Biden has apparently vehemently denied it, but, so did Kavanaugh. Oops, right? Oops. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, and, I'll see you again later.